Okay, welcome back to the shop. So today, got a little disclaimer to make. If you're going to play around with any of this stuff, you want to be very careful. Don't have any metal bits on your fingies or anything like that. This is an insulated mat, so we don't have to worry about anything shorting out to the bench, and all that fun jazz. And always be very careful when messing with batteries. But had an instance of, and there's marking on here so the identification marks aren't seen, but we had an actual legit Milwaukee battery bust out. You can see the screws and everything just pulled right out of it and absolutely screwed it up. Now, you cannot buy, to my knowledge anyway, a replacement casement for your battery, at least a Milwaukee battery. So what do? You got all this money set, invested in batteries and what have you. Here it is, the 5 amp hour battery. It's a nicely made battery, but it's pretty much useless. There we go. It's a good battery yet. So what do you do with it? Now I happen to have around the shop a 4.0 amp hour knockoff battery that we're experimenting with, and it stopped taking a charge. You can see this is, I don't know if you can make it out there or not. The LED just blinks that it's as low as it can get, and it will no longer take a charge. So the logical thought process was, well, I wonder if we can put the Milwaukee battery in a knockoff case. So we're going to give that a try. But before we do, just thought we'd take a few looks at subtle differences. You can definitely see the Milwaukee has a lot more going on in it, while the knockoff does have a printed board and everything else in it. It has jumper wires, whereas the Milwaukee uses bus, which is a nicer way of doing the job. There's your jumpers between cells and everything else. So that's just something to take a look at there, just casually. But again, being very careful with all this stuff. This is no longer any good to us. It's not taking a charge. Whatever these cells were, don't work anymore. So we do have the knockoff battery casement apart, and we can compare these. Here we can see the Milwaukee ones made out of real plastic stuff. The top is ABS, and the bottom is also ABS. And I would venture, I guess, that this is probably something similar, if not a lesser grade. It's not as robust as the Milwaukee one, but hey, this is an intact case, so let's see if we can get the Milwaukee battery in this case. So it appears as though it fits right in, just like that. And let's see if we can get the cover on it. It does seem as though everything wants to snap together. Reasonably decent. Not the greatest. Actually, no. There we go. We got it. All the way around. So, and the button even lines up. So, one-off experiment here, but I do think that if you have a case where you have a Milwaukee battery that you need a case for, maybe you consider getting a cheap battery and recasing it. So I'm going to play around with this and see if I can get all the screws in. This one side is a little bit loose yet. Let me see if it pulls down tight with the screws, and we'll be back and see how it looks. Okay, so we got the screws back in this. Seems like it went together good. Everything tightened up, everything fits. Battery doesn't shake around in there. All the connection points, the 5 connection points that are on the battery that connect to the tool and or charger, everything seems to have a good connection point there. Everything seems to work out. The only thing I think would be a little different would be that the some of these knockoff batteries go on tools a little harder than others, so I think that would be something that, you know, it's not going to be the right size like these here, but it's something that we could work with. We just wanted to get the battery usable again. The gauge button works even, so that's nice. That just tells us this is a pretty close copy. It's not as robust, and if it fell, it too would likely break, but at least we get another go-round out of our battery here, and got something to work with. So just thought we'd play around with that, see what we could get going. Again, be careful with these batteries. If you're not comfortable with working with this stuff, definitely don't do it. But I was just curious to see if you could do this, put a Milwaukee battery in one of these knockoff cases, and turns out you can. So hopefully that's helpful to some people, and do be careful if you're messing around with this stuff. You can get yourself into trouble if you're not careful. So hopefully that's helpful to some people, and hope you guys enjoyed. Thanks for watching. Have a great day.